From the shores of Malibu where the waves are pumping, to the Great Wall of China and back to the streets of New Orleans, Louisiana, where the UFC is coming. We are live. This is It's Time Radio. We talk about the things you maybe think about but don't want to talk about. But don't worry, we'll talk about them for you. We talk about it all in this time. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, UFC, entertainment, politics, you name it, we're going to talk about it. I'm here with my co-host, my producer, TJ DeSantis. TJ, a week gone by. I know you were in Nashville last week, weren't you?
No, I was not.
You
They didn't
weren't.
let me. No, I was sitting here in Southern California.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about the Nashville show a little bit on the show.
Our guest was in Nashville.
I know that. I know our
Okay.
guest was
Yeah,
there.
I was
That's why
there.
we're going to
Yeah.
bring him on. All right, everybody. We had a hell of a show last weekend. Fight of the night. The man from the fight of the night. He's here with us today, maybe your night. But here he is, the action man, Chris Curtis. Chris, how are you?
What's up, guys? How are you? I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm currently eating more than I should, but enjoying life. But I'm doing great.
I think you have a right to eat more than you should, considering the 8 to 10 weeks when you couldn't eat what you wanted to. So, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, are we at middleweight right now, Chris, or are we at light heavyweight status? Where are we at?
What was I? Oh no, I hit 201 this morning.
Okay,
So that's my heavy.
201.
So,
Wow.
That's technically light heavyweight. People always think
Yeah.
you got to be 205 to be light heavyweight, but
So,
it's anything above
we-
186.
Yeah, but for
we
those
started,
of
we
those of
started
our
dieting
audience,
today.
sorry about that. Those of our audience that are familiar, we have UFC fans, we have other fans watching, but Chris fought at welterweight. That's 170 pounds. You got to
Yeah.
realize that since Saturday, he's now 201. You said
Yeah, 201. Yep, this morning.
31 pounds. 31 pounds. Pick up a 30-pound barbell and people and realize that's what Chris just put in his body.
Yeah,
Wow.
essentially, I'm like a 4-year-old bigger now. Like a 3 or 4-year-old bigger. Yeah, so it's
I
wild.
never thought about that. You literally ate a dog.
Yeah, it's like a small dog. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
small, medium-sized dog or a 3-year-old. Like, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well, Chris, listen, congratulations. It's always a pleasure to announce you in the octagon, and your fight won for the books. You got the bonus that night, right?
No, I know. I don't think I did not bonus that night. I actually have no idea who bonused that night. I think Lewis did. I have no idea. I was just happy to get out of there. Like, got paid,
Oh, actually, no.
left.
Yeah, I thought you did get the bonus. I thought you did it that night.
No, it's fine. I got the one before that one day. One for Kopylov, yeah, for that one though. But it's fine. Like, I've got like 5 or 6 bonuses so far, so no problem. I'm just happy to be able to fight, get the win, and honestly, we got out of there and immediately went and got pizza and burgers. So it's a good night all around.
That was my next question. I mean, you won it on a split decision over Max Griffin, and Max is always coming in to fight really, really strong. There's no question. Max is now, if I'm not mistaken, Max is 40 years old. He's been fighting for quite a while.
No,
Yeah.
I'm 38. Is he 40?
Yeah.
He's pushing it. I remember
He's
calling
like 39. Yeah.
I was calling his fights at Tachi Palace fights in Lemoore like probably 12 years ago at this point.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been a long time.
Jeez.
Wow.
Honestly, I can't talk. I just turned 38 yesterday, so I'm not that far behind.
Congratulations. What a way to
Yeah.
celebrate.
Right, yeah.
I'm surprised that the Action Man is still in action because I met you down in Sinaloa the first time, Chris, and you were talking about how I'm just trying to make one run to get to the UFC and get there and then I'll be done. But you didn't even know if that was going to happen, and look at you now. It's 2025, and you're still doing it.
Yeah, I can't sing and I can't dance. And I don't want to work a 9 to 5. So, luckily I like fighting. I tend to be good at it. So I just want to keep doing it as long as I can, man. Like, you got to realize that time catches everybody, but I still got a few good years left. So I'm trying to have the most fun that I can.
Oh, I think you've got a few years left the way you performed the other night. And I can't sing, I can't dance. But that's actually had a nice ring to it. You ought to make a song out of that.
Yeah, I can't sing and I can't
Or 3
dance. And
lines.
it beats working a 9 to 5.
Wasn't bad at all. Wasn't bad at all. Well, you know what? You fought in front of a very excited crowd in Nashville. Those people definitely 17,000+ sold out. They loved the whole experience of that night. They were definitely into your fight. There's no question. What went through your mind during the final moments of that split decision in Nashville?
I'm not gonna lie. Like you get kind of like a pucker factor when they say split decision, and you're like, oh no, you get like an 8 out of 10 on the pucker factor because I'm like, you can give him the first round. I was like, there's no way that he won like two or three rounds. I was like, there's no possible way. So when they said that, I was like, oh my God, like don't do this. I already got like kicked in the groin, head butted a few times. I'm like, fine, whatever. We fought through it. When I heard that split decision, I was like, oh my God, they're gonna do it, aren't they? There's always just a weird judge everywhere. Like I don't know why. Uh, this is the nature of the sport. There's so much going on, so much to look out for. But I feel like there's always one judge who's just out there just randomly putting numbers down on a piece of paper. Like, all right, good enough for me.
Rogan has talked about this in the past, Chris, about possibly having like 5, 6, 7 judges. Do you think that would alleviate some of the controversial split decisions?
No, you're just adding more cooks to the more cooks in the kitchen,
No.
more chefs in
Yeah.
the kitchen. You're
You're
making
putting
it
more
even worse.
you're putting more minds and cooks into the fire. I totally disagree with that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's a terrible idea. Like I think there needs to be a competency test for judging. And like what I
Mm,
mean by that is like judges should be required in order to be a judge, you should have to at least, once or twice a year go like review footage, score fights, and be able to back up why you scored your fight, and that should be reviewed. If you can't competently judge a fight, like you shouldn't, it's because at the end of the day, it's really just coming down to your personal interpretation, right? Your personal preference in a fight. If you can't adequately back up and defend like why you made certain decisions, you shouldn't have the job.
yeah, I
So
mean,
I
I
think
hate
judges should
that.
be
I,
tested.
I hate that argument too, though. Like, oh, you can make a case. Well, if you can make a case, that means you're making a case for the wrong guy to win. It
Yeah,
should be somewhat self-explanatory.
it should be there should be. I mean, you should be able to. I say you should be able to make a case. Like judges should be sat down. I said give them a review of 7 fights, randomly selected fights,
Right.
and let them score the fights, and then let them explain their decisions per round on why each round was scored the way it was, and then those should be reviewed.
Yeah.
And because I would like to know like what you're seeing, because if you're seeing something completely different from somebody else, either the system's broken or you have no idea what you're doing. And that's
And,
that's a discussion for another time then. But like you should be able to explain how you got here. And if that doesn't make sense to the majority of people, that's a very, very big problem.
Andy Foster, he runs the California State Athletic Commission. He actually gets judges and referees together over like a Zoom call every so often, I think every couple of months, and they all talk about certain things and just sort of explain just that. And it's not just like judges that are local here in California. There's some of the big name guys that come in and do that, and I think that's really healthy because I mean
And
when you
it,
when you
it
are a
is.
part of that team, you need to be in simpatico and what the criteria is.
There's no question about that, and I got to give kudos to Andy Foster because he makes some very smart moves in his role with the commission. Jeff Mullins and Andy Foster are like my two favorite commissioners, out there working.
Well, I
No,
appreciate
no
that like
disrespect to the other commissioners, please.
no, you're right. But I appreciate that like they'll go the extra mile and say like, hey, like we're aware that this isn't the easiest job, and like you said, the criteria for judging a fight is nebulous at best. So like if we can kind of figure out what everyone's looking at and how we theoretically should be judging, that makes it easier for the fighter because like it's very frustrating and scary to go out there and fight and not know like what they're looking for.
Well, you know what?
So like, oh,
Go ahead.
go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm saying as a fighter, it's terrifying because you go out there when you have, we at Extreme, we talk about optics a lot. And it comes down to sometimes, even though you could be doing effective in a fight, you have to be aware of optics because maybe judges don't like how this looks or how this looks, but there's no real way to tell. So, you'll hear a lot of Extreme coaches in the corner yell about optics because even if you're winning, we can't be sure that you're winning because we have no idea what this guy's judging you on. Like what you could be doing could be working, but maybe he's like, oh, well, I don't think that looks great, so he doesn't score it for you, scores it against you. So as for the athletes and the judges, I think everything would be a lot smoother if we really genuinely knew like what was scoring and like what was being looked at as opposed to having it be so subjective to each judge.
I agree. Well, that's what called perception is reality, which is the basic theory of life. You know, at Extreme Couture, I'd have to say, are there any training or mindset changes at Extreme that sparks your confidence in being a welterweight?
Um, there's a lot of things. It wasn't. I don't think it so much was the change for the gym, so much as the change that we made in every other aspect of fighting. Like I moved to Thailand, right? And we took this fight, and I flew back 2 days later. I flew back. I was in Thailand for about 8 weeks. We got this fight. I flew back 2 days later. I was like, all right. We flew back so quickly because for my first fight at 170, it was on what 7 weeks we had to prepare.
Yeah.
There was no time for a practice cut. There's no time to get anything in order. We're like, we got to hit the ground running. So I flew back 2 days after I got this fight and went to the PI. We had to sit down with Gavin and Charles, the guys from the nutrition team and the strength team, and we put a plan together. And we're like, this is your plan. We did all my diagnostics, and they were like, hey, this is the plan. Like, we don't have time to test it. We're going to make adjustments, every other day, day by day, but we need you to trust me. They need me to trust them. So I did what I was told. We had everything planned out. Like, my coaches from Extreme were really supportive. We got me all of the rounds I needed, the sessions I needed. But the UFC PI really went above and beyond to get me to 170 pounds safely and effectively. Honest to God, making 170 was easier than my last two fights at 185.
What?
Yeah, I kid you not. It took me. So the goal was day before weigh-ins, we're gonna cut. I was only what 180. I woke up that morning at 189, 181 that morning before weigh-ins, which was really good. And then by the time we started the cut, I was 179. So I was already really light. Everything's gone really well. I felt good. I wasn't starving. Like, we changed a lot of stuff. So the goal was, okay, we'll do our cut. We will get to 175, we said, drink back up to 76, and then cut the rest in the morning. So I did one session. I did 20 minutes of pads, 30 minutes in a hot tub, 30 minutes under the blankets. We thought we hit 75. I got out, checked the scale. I was 170 on the dot. We were like, oh, man. We're like, yeah, complete accident. Like, I played video games through my entire cut. Like, I just sat in the bathtub, played video games. Like, it was the easy cut. And, like, we hit 170 on accident, so we got to eat and drink that night. We woke up the next morning, we were 170.5 on the dot. So that was easier than some of my cuts to 85. Like, it was absolutely insane.
That's awesome. I want to talk to you about the video games in a second. I'll tell you why. Your friendship with Strickland, has that helped shape your career in handling controversies such as and I won't go into it too much, but your tuff-n-nuff cage, issue with Strickland, the storm into the cage, and you had to deal with an NSAC fine when that happened and all that stuff. Did that affect you a lot?
No, it's I just had to talk to somebody. I always say one good thing about fighters is most of us come into this sport with some weird baggage, so we're very good at compartmentalizing. Like for me,
that was a polite way to put it, but go ahead.
I'm being political, but we're very good at compartmentalizing. So at first, after everything plays out, you're like, okay, you're worried a little bit, but then at the end of the day, I have to accept that, A, my job is still ongoing. It's not over yet, even though because of other stuff going on. And B, like I'm 38 years old now. Like, I have to accept that, like, okay, like I made a choice. I made a dumb choice. It wasn't a terrible choice, but it wasn't a great choice. It's just a dumb choice. You kind of have to be able to take that on the chin. And like it's one of those things to where like, I can't be too freaked out, too mad. Like I made a choice. I did it. You take it on the chin. You got to be able to move on with it.
Hey, great attitude. You know what? Learn from it. I always say, and I think it's pretty common knowledge that when you first do something, it's not a mistake, and it's experience you need to learn from. If you do it again, it's a mistake. Okay, so that's pretty much the way to look at it.
Hey, I know Chris doesn't want a 9 to 5, but if he does, PR spinner might be that guy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
People in the UFC have mentioned this. They're like, you're very good in the PR aspect of this. I was like, I got practice. I got a lot of practice on it.
Well, you just hang out with Strickland long enough, you might have to, weasel your way out of situations that he puts you in.
Hey, I saw
more often than you'll ever know.
I saw Strickland before the fight, and I asked him when he's going to be back, and he told me I wasn't aware he's on a 4-month suspension.
Yeah.
Because he told me he hit somebody who, basically said something he didn't like to hear. And, that's enough to get Sean started off. Was that like in the street or something? Is that where that
No,
happened?
I assume it was that
No,
tough enough.
that was the
Oh,
tough.
was that the
That was
tough
the
enough
tough.
one?
That was the
Yeah.
tough incident. Yeah, that
Oh,
was the
so he
tough
got the
incident.
4 months. Okay, okay. No, he
Yeah,
told
yeah.
me the
So
guy, the way he explained it to me, I didn't know if that was tough enough, and I didn't put the two together. The guy basically made a remark. I won't even say it on the
yeah, yeah. I
air.
figured you would not go into that. But yeah, he that was the response. So he got his suspension. I got my fine. And it is what it is. Like Jeff Mullins is. I love Jeff Mullins. He's a really good dude, and we had that talk about it, and the understanding that like this can't be allowed to happen, can't continue. But like at the same time, Jeff is kind of aware that like you've got people being hot blooded in the moment, and like things are gonna happen. So we both kind of took it on the chin. But like I think Jeff he was cool about it. It was fair. It sucks to get hit with the fine, the suspension, but it could have been worse. But like Jeff's has been around fighters long enough that he kind of understands like the people, the circus and the monkeys he's dealing with. So
It could have been. It could have been a lot worse. It could be.
yeah.
Anyway, fighters do smart things, and fighters do some dumb things. And I think if you follow the news in the last couple of days, we might as well bring it up. But one of the most famous fighters in the world, personality-wise, I think
Oh
what
my
I'm going to
God.
talk about. Conor McGregor's in the news again for all the wrong reasons. So don't be
Dude,
sending any pictures of yourself. That's all I can tell you, Chris.
right. So I'm not even a big Conor McGregor fan. I never have been. I've butted heads with him before. But I saw that he's getting back in the testing pool. He wants to do the UFC White House card. I'm genuinely excited for that because as much as I like really don't care for Conor McGregor, it always sucks to see somebody self-destruct. And I'm like, man, but like unfortunately, like, I guess once you've had so much success, you kind of when you've come from like little to nothing, you kind of lose it. So I think with him having a fight, maybe he will be able to like buckle in and focus and like stop doing Conor McGregor things. But man, it's like it's crazy just how much he can just how consistently he can put himself in like harm's way. Like it is impressive. But I used to
I
make a joke back in the day about Hunter Biden. Like my biggest thing was I'm a Democrat, but I love that like Hunter Biden just every time he commits a crime, he does it on camera. I'm like, that's dedication. Like that is absolute dedication. And Conor McGregor has the exact same issue to where every time you commit a crime or do something stupid, it is on camera in public view. Like that is a skill. Like that
well,
is an absolute skill.
he did it twice this week, and it's not like I'm trying to get down on Connor, but the fact is he did what he did, and it's been public on the beach last week. And Connor's married to a wonderful woman in Devon. I met
Dude,
her,
oh.
nothing but wonderful things to say about her. Obviously dedicated to her man, dedicated to their family with their four beautiful children. Connor gets pictured kissing another woman on the beach in Miami. That makes the news, right?
I
This
saw that.
weekend.
Like, bro, what are you doing?
And now he sends, I guess I have to say it, pictures of himself in a very obvious position, if you want to call them D pics, if we'll be polite on this show here, to Azalea Banks, who gets them and immediately posts them on Twitter, saying, "Why are you sending me these pics?" It's like it's accusing him or whatever. Um, Very hard to explain. Very hard to explain. That's all I can say. To put
It's
yourself
the
in that kind
bird
of, it comes from the Brett Favre playbook. If you remember what Brett Favre did.
just out. It's the bird of success, man. Like I said, I've known a few people who like had very humble beginnings, we'll say, and have come into success. And once you stop having to struggle, they lose their minds. And I think it's just what happens when you've reached a level of success to where you don't have fear anymore. And once you lose the fear that kind of made you be successful to begin with, you're like, well, what do I do now? I've got to find some form of amusement or just like validation or just excitement. So you just go off and do things, man. I'm just like, the only thing is you're that famous. You're one of the most famous people, athletes in the world. Like, this is gonna come out. Like, the beach thing is wild. Like, how did you not think that was gonna come back up? Like,
I,
at what? Like, how would that not? Like, that's wild to me. And like, you have a wife and the mother of your kids. I'm like, bro, you're people, dudes will be dudes. People will do like people are gonna be who they are, but at least have the decency to try to hide it. Like, come on a beach.
it's unfathomable, and all I can say is, and I'll put it to rest, is that this will be the rest of his life. It's not going to go away. It can be brought up at any given time. The man aspires to run for president of Ireland or whatever the proper term is for that. Um, Very hard to get away from this. So,
I'm
anyway,
hoping I'm hoping the White House card like gives them something to focus on. Like, bro, like get your head in there, like focus, like recenter yourself. I think a lot of us as fighters have the issue that when we don't have a fight in front of us, we kind of lose who we are. I think
well,
it's a scary it's a scary thing about fighting is like you do lose who you are when you don't have a fight.
I can appreciate that. I can understand that. I have a fighter mentality, and I've been around fighters most of my life, and I can thoroughly appreciate what you're saying. Absolutely. But he's heading up the BKFC. Is that what is it? BKFC?
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
BKFC. Yeah.
and he's doing a lot for that. I mean, there's a lot of focus there. A lot of focus there. They're coming out with a $25 million tournament, which is crazy. When I
Well,
say
that's
crazy, I
wild.
think
Yeah,
it's wonderful. I think it's great for the fighters.
that's
Um,
crazy big.
Crazy big, crazy big. But well, we'll see what goes on. But you know what? This is not about Conor McGregor. This is about you, Chris. And one thing I want to bring up too, you mentioned video games. Okay, I've been into video games since uh, what is it?
You've been in video
Centipede
games
and
since the early 2000s. I'll say
yeah,
that.
the early 2000s. I came out with one of the biggest video games of my own. 1999, I created Ready to Rumble Boxing. Um,
Wait, hold on. You created Ready to Rumble? Are you serious?
You're
yeah,
just finding this out now?
yeah.
Dude, I make Afro Thunder jokes all the time.
Oh, the doctor.
I had no idea that was you.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story real quick. Is I went to Midway, who made Mortal Kombat and everything, and I presented them with an idea to basically kind of recreate the Mike Tyson game, but in our own way, creating arcade-style characters, calling it Ready to Rumble, having my brother be the announcer, all the publicity, everything we could bring to it. And they said, well, we'll think about it, but right now we're not ready for that. And then I was going to make a game with EA, and I wanted to own part of the game, and I couldn't work that out with them. And I got a call from Midway 6 months after I had that meeting with them, and they said, "Hey, Bruce, we have a great idea. We want to make this arcade-style video game with arcade-style characters. We want to call it Ready to Rumble and have your brother be the announcer." And I thought to myself, "Oh, where'd you get that idea?" Right? But there's a trick in business. Let them always think it's their idea, right? Because all I wanted to do was make the deal. So made the deal, owned part of the game, involved in the development, the characterizations, the whole bit. I take great pride in that. We came out with 3 Ready to Rumble games, which I would
I've
love
owned
to
all of
recreate
them.
again. Huh?
I've owned all of them. I've owned every Ready to Rumble game. I promise you. Like I'm like it's wild. I did not know. So I don't know
Yep.
how I like, didn't know that this entire time. That's
Yep.
amazing.
That's it. And actually, Atari kind of ruined it a bit when they made it with the Wii thing, right?
Atari
'Cause
ruins everything though. Like
yeah,
it's
that
they
didn't
have a
work with the Wii controls.
yeah
They could have easily spent
yeah.
another 40 grand in beta testing and made the press button. And I said, "Why are you not making the press button? I want the press button." They go, "Well, this is going to be the way to go." No, that was the way to go
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah,
no good.
Wii was a very niche thing, and then like yeah, but never had like the mainstream success of anything. A lot of grown people don't want to play with Wii remotes, but dude,
No.
that's oh man, I wish I've never known that. That's
Yep.
insane.
Yep. I used to play that game for hours. I love that game. Love
Dude,
it.
I had it on Dreamcast. I had I had the Wii one. I had it on yeah.
The
You're the
Dreamcast
only
was a
one I know
thing.
that had a Dreamcast. Oh my God.
That was a great module. When controller and all. When we first came out with it, Chris, in the first 24 hours, we were one of 10 games on the Dreamcast, and it was the cover of Variety or Entertainment Magazine. We broke the entertainment record for sales in 24 hours with $97.1 million in sales in the first 24 hours.
Wow.
Dude,
Between the
my
10
mom,
games and the module. So we have that on our resume that we were part of that, which since has been broken by Call of Duty, and all these
yeah,
others.
that's still impressive though. Like my mom waited at Toys R Us for the drop for the launch of that. Like my mom waited in the line for that for me because I was so excited about it. That's
God
crazy.
bless your mom. Tell her I said hi and thank you. Appreciate that.
She waited in line for that.
Yeah, we sold over like 3-4 million games, which back then was a lot of games. Crazy.
That's I don't know how I never knew that. I knew your brother was in it. I just never knew like that was you.
Yeah, I was Tony T in the second one. That was me and my image and my voice with about 300 pounds on me.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna
anyway,
say they just look a little different.
getting away from that, but getting into video games, I know how much you play them, and they help you relax, and probably is that where your name Action Man came from?
No, Action Man came from actually there was a initially the name itself is from a TV show and like the toy line. It's like
Hmm.
British GI Joe. But back in the 90s, there was an Action Man TV show that
Yeah.
where this guy would do all this like crazy stunts and stuff, and like time would slow down as he figured it out. So the name came from when I jumped out of a window years ago. I was trying to escape a second story window. So I jumped out of a window into a tree, thinking like I'll grab the tree branch, I'll swing down, and all this cool stuff would happen. I jumped out the window, grab the tree branch immediately breaks. I like fall down like two stories with the tree, hitting every branch, hit the ground, break an ankle, roll, do like a forward
Ugh.
roll, and run into jump through a car door. Like I jump into a moving car and like speed away, and like that's where the name came from. My
It's
Did
like
the
a
buddy was
skid.
husband
like, it's
come
like
home early? Like, what happened, Chris?
it,
Husband come home?
I was young and I was hanging out with this girl and her dad came home.
Okay. All right.
And my
That's
friends were
funny.
supposed to be like outside keeping an eye out for me, and like no one's paying attention. So all of a sudden, her dad's coming home, and I'm like, I'm 16. I'm like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? So we chose to dive out the window, and it just didn't work. But apparently, it looked really cool. Like the entire thing looked really cool from the outside, but it was just a complete failure. But that's where the name came in, and it just never lost the name.
I had an incident when I was younger when I had to climb a tree out of a second story to a similar situation, but I didn't have to
Yeah.
fall.
No, so apparently you cannot like the movies have lied to you. You don't grab a tree branch at 200 pounds and like just swing to the next branch. That is not how that works. Gravity is
Not unless
different.
you know that tree. Not unless
Yeah.
you know that tree.
But
Okay,
yeah, so
well,
that's where
listen,
that came from.
I'm gonna share something with you that I haven't shared with the audience yet. But getting back to the video games, I'm starting I've created the It's Time Trading Cards and Esports Center, right? And I'm opening up a 8,000 square foot facility in California in Agoura Hills. It's going to be launching in October, and it's all designed around sports cards. We'll be one of the first ones to come out with the Fanatics cards when they come out. There's nothing like this out there. It's going to have all that, but we're going to have an esports center, eventually start an esports team where people can come in and there's one area dedicated out of the 8,000 square feet where people can come in and they can play the video games and compete with each other and all that. Strictly just an esports center room, with
That's
monitors and everything, which is going to be a huge thing.
Dude, that's awesome. Like, I'm like for me especially because like I was being a huge gamer. Like, I'm a huge fighting game player as well. So like you get like the fighting game community is definitely its own unique community. So those are people who like you put anything with fights in it, like fighting games in it, and like you can build entire teams. Like it's so the fighting game community is way bigger than people think.
Oh
And
yeah.
like just hearing that right there, I'm like, bro, you don't understand. Like I've been to local tournaments with 300 people, like just throwing a local game shop every weekend. Like, so
Right.
that's amazing. Like that's freaking cool.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So,
What
just
what made
uh,
what made you do this?
well, I I'll tell you the funny story how things happen. I was playing poker on TV on a show called uh, Hustler's High Stakes Poker Night, right? Panic Monday Night, where I'm a big poker player. So when I
I
say big,
suck, but
I
I
love
like
poker.
it.
I've made World Series final table and I love cash games, the whole bit. No, there's no secret about it. I talk about it on the internet. It's a lot of things published. You can go to cardplayer.com and look me up, and you can see my whole record of play and what I've won. Kind of like when you look up tennis player results or fighter results and stuff like that.
You have your life has so much lore. Your life has a lot of lore. I just want you to know that.
Man for all seasons, man for all reasons, baby. When it happens, you got to be ready for it.
I like that.
So I played poker, and I met this guy at the table I was playing against, and we were talking. He owns 103 Domino's Pizzas locations, right, and Ace Hardwares. And I was thinking, well, I'd like to do the It's Time Pizza, like delivery service, type thing. So we had a
Ooh,
meeting, and I decided not to do that. There's just too much involved. But his brother is huge into esports and trading cards and all that. And I'm a big collector of vintage to modern day trading cards. I have been since I was 12 years old. I have a huge collection and storage of, whether it's Jordan rookies, Magic Johnson, you name it, going all the way back, 1950 unopened wax packs of cards to modern day era. And so we met on an even ground, and he came up with this idea, and together we developed the whole thing from that point forward. And we're going to franchise them across the country, but we're going to start out with the first center, which will launch in October here in California. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be making announcements on Instagram.
dude,
And we already started an Instagram site for it too.
I gotta check because that's even just the thought of that. Like you franchise them out. there's so much you can do between like inter-franchise, like you can do franchise teams. But oh, there's like so much you can do with that. That's something like that's so just to sit
Talk,
here and think about it. Like
talking my
there's so much
language,
you can
Chris.
do with it.
Talking my
Like yeah,
language. We're
that
starting off
is
with
really
point A, but
cool.
we're going to get to B, C, and D. It's all in the works.
That's actually really cool. That's pretty cool actually. Like I got some friends I'll tell about that because I'm sure they'll be excited. That's really cool. There's so much you can do with that.
Well, when we launch it, when you're in California, as the future goes, again, when you know you're going to be there, get in contact with us, and I'll set up an appearance for you at the center, and you can go and play video
Dude,
games with everybody.
I would love to be there when you launch it. Like, dude, I would love to. That's awesome. Like, that's super cool.
We might launch it around Halloween with a huge costume party.
Dude, that's, I will show up as I will do the Afro Thunder cosplay. I'm dead serious.
Call the doctor.
God, dude, dude, congratulations, man. That's badass. Like, that's, sorry. Like, that's awesome.
Thanks. See, your reaction that you're giving me is the reaction we're getting from everybody, like streamers, on online and all that. They can't wait for it to open. You know.
It's cool to have a place, man. Like, and like that's something that you don't see too much. And like, I've only seen like very small versions of that done, but like to have a center dedicated just for that is pretty new. And
Thanks.
that's pretty cool.
Well, you're feeling my fire with your reaction, Chris. I really appreciate it very much. So,
No problem. I'm excited, man. No problem. I'm legitimately stoked for that.
well, I was going to ask you if video games inspire you, so I don't even have to ask that question anymore because you answered it before I could even ask it.
Dude, I'm a professional fighter because of Street Fighter and Tekken. So like yeah, like
Love tech.
that's what got me on this. Yeah, Street Fighter and Tekken made me want to travel the world and fight people. Whole lot less fireballs, but I'm living the dream.
Hey, before we could play, really heavily at home, one of my favorite nights on a Tuesday or Thursday was to go to here where I lived in California. There was theater. I go see a movie. Next door was the video game parlor, and man, the dollars I dropped on NBA Jam, Tekken, you name it, were just beyond comprehension.
I blew my allowance every week at us because it's called Timeout at the Court. It's in Fort Fair Mall in Cincinnati. I blew my allowance every week, like every weekend playing Tekken. Like yeah, like Tekken and Street Fighter. I just went through everything I made. My mom was like, "You're never gonna have anything. It doesn't matter." Like I took my $10, went there, and I dropped all those quarters in the machines.
Well, it was either quarters of the machine or dropping down bankrolls to my buddy when we played Ready to Rumble boxing and we bet every single match. So,
That's right.
so Chris, getting back to your fighting style, because I could talk to you about video games and stuff like that, all the subject all day long. Um, what's next? Who do you want next?
I'm still kind of figuring out who's in his weight class, but like, honestly, I just want to have fun fights. And I think Vicente Luque would be a really fun fight. Like I think we're both, we're both up there. We're both vets, but like I think style wise, we have styles that are we're both go forward people. Like it's really you get kind of get a hit or miss when you get a guy who doesn't want to fight so much as like just win. But I think me and Vicente Luque both go out there to fight. So I think that would be fun. I think Luque would be really fun. I think he's an awesome fighter. I got nothing but love and respect for him. But I think for just a fun fight, like a bonus worthy fight, like me and Vicente Luque, there's no way we don't get a bonus. There's no way. We both like fighting way too much.
Good. Think about that bonus, and I like the way you think. It's like, okay, I want to fight him, but you know what? This is a bonus-worthy fight. I never heard a
We
fighter
we
say that.
we're fighting like that's a fight that I promise you we're fighting the night like hands down. Like I tell people all the time, like I had people even fans now message me like for my last fight just for performance. They're like, you seem so happy in there. People were like, I think Chris Curtis sometimes forget he's supposed to be winning. He just likes to fight. And I'm like, so, it's true. Like, I get yelled at by my coaches sometimes. This fight, Eric's like, hey, stop having so much fun and go win the fight, please. And I'm like, oh yeah, my bad. I just love to fight. And I think Vicente Luque loves to fight. Like if you look at
Yes.
him in there, he's just in there. He's in the moment. I got a smile on my face. I love fighting. So I think that's a fight. There's no way we don't bonus that fight. That's fight of the night, hands down.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I can tell, looking in fighters' eyes before they even step in the cage or after they step in the cage, who loves to fight and who just fights because they have to fight. There is a difference, and you can
And I
tell.
tell people there's athletes, there's competitors, and there's fighters. The athletes probably did something else, and you're athletic. You're physically gifted. You want to do something. That's fine. Athletes like to win. They just like to do stuff. Competitors are people who like to win. Like those are your guys who probably came from different sport, like wrestling or something else. You just want to keep competing and doing something. So this is your natural evolution. But the rarest one are fighters. Those are people who I'm not so much here to win as I'm here to fight you. And like fighters, like yeah, like fighters, I'm here to fight you. Like, that's my goal. Like winning's the consequence of it. But my goal when we get in there is not to like, oh, get my hand raised. Like, no, my goal is to beat you up. And like, I think me and Luke are both fighters, and like I think it'll just be really fun.
No question. Great attitude, Chris. Cheers to you, buddy. Great attitude. I love it.
I love what I
Uh,
do.
Speaking of fighters, let's send best wishes to Randy Couture. You heard of what happened to Randy, right?
Yeah, I sent him a message the day after we heard we were already in Nashville. But like once again, it's Randy Couture. Like
Yep.
you remember when he had a heart attack and he walked himself to a hospital?
Yep.
Like Randy Couture is probably one of the toughest human beings alive for no reason other than that he's just tough as an old shoe. So
Without
if
question.
anybody is gonna pull through, it's gonna be Randy. Like I've got no doubt. Like he's already like, oh, it's not that bad. And they're like, oh, it's kind of bad, Randy. He's like, oh, it's not that bad. It's fine.
Second and third degree burns and other issues is bad, but that's Randy Couture. I remember when Sylvester Stallone was on Jay Leno, and Jay Leno asked him, filming The Expendables, who was the toughest guy, and basically, who was it? Stallone said, "Well, all I know is if everybody's in a room and I left the room and it came back, I'd walk in and probably be a bunch of people on the ground with Randy Couture sitting on top of me eating an ice cream cone." So
Honestly, yeah. Like guys, I don't think people understand just like how. And Randy's one of the nicest dudes you ever meet. But that dude is
absolutely.
just like a will of steel. Like it's terrifying. He's just built different.
I thoroughly agree. So a couple things here, and then we're going to sign off. So okay, Chris, just got to go over a couple things in the news. You mind come with
Let's
us?
go. Let's go. I am ready.
Well, cheers to my brother Michael Buffer. I actually got a call from FIFA to announce the final game uh, in Newark, and I couldn't do it because of Nashville. But Michael has done FIFA commercials and stuff, and I had Michael, or he was doing the semifinals. So cheers to my brother, 80 years old, man. He did the semifinals and the final announcements. Then did a boxing event, came home for 2 days, and now he's off to London to do the big fight this weekend. So cheers to Michael Buffer, the legendary greatest announcer of all time, out there just doing his thing. I love it.
You guys are just anomalies in like all things, man. I don't know how you guys pull this off, but hell, even I was actually shocked you even did the announcement coming in. I was like, I thought you'd have that pre-recorded. Nope, did it off the cuff. Like you guys are anomalies. So cheers
Which
to
game?
you
Which
and
game?
Michael.
Which game?
No, just the intro to this interview podcast. You
Oh
did the intro like right away. I thought you'd have that saved. I'm like, nope,
no,
I just
no,
watched you do it. I was like, what?
no! I'm not going to
You
save anything. Got to do it. I got to pump myself up too, Chris. I got to get into the moment. Yeah,
well,
it's nothing better than doing it live.
you and Michael both, man, are like freaking legends in this. So like, hats off to you guys. And like, he's
Thank
just
you.
out here living the best life. You guys have done some amazing things.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, you inspire me. If I can inspire you a little bit, works both ways, my friend. Are you a Star Wars fan?
Yes, yeah, of course I am. I so that was that Star Wars was my first love as a kid before the rest of my sci-fi nerdiness came in. Like Star Wars was my entry point.
You have one of the lightsabers?
I have like so I have my son has two. He has mine as well. So we have two of the really expensive custom ones. Then we have like four of the Disney ones. And then we have a bunch of other ones. When I was a kid, I spent so much time and energy trying to build a lightsaber until I realized like the technology didn't exist. But
Yeah,
I was sure I could do it. Like yeah. So my mom's let me run to like a Home Depot to buy like metal piping and tubing and stuff. And I really tried to build one until I realized like oh like batteries aren't gonna cut it.
that's cool. Well, I'll tell you one thing: the lightsaber that Darth Vader's lightsaber, say that three times real fast. Darth Vader's actual lightsaber from The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi is. Again, I'm a big collector of memorabilia, movie memorabilia too. I'm not going to buy this, but it's on the auction block. So, what do you think it's going to go for
It's the original.
from those two movies? Yeah,
That's got to be like I would say like at least 3 mil. Like that's
one to
the
three million.
original.
1 to 3 million.
Wait, oh,
They
I
predict.
was I would
No,
say 3 mil. Yeah,
yeah, you're
it's
right there.
funny. Before we this interview, I was actually listening to a YouTube video about the construction of Darth Vader's lightsaber. Like just in lore, like just because I'm a Star Wars lore nerd. So just listening to like, stuff about him building a lightsaber in the story. So it's funny you bring that up, but that's pretty awesome. I would expect at least 3 million, like hands down.
Yeah,
And
well,
there's
you're
no
right on.
way it goes for anything less than that.
You're right on target. Right on target. Also, movies and TV. I'm a big movie buff. I saw F1. Very enjoyable. Give it a
Did
solid.
you like it?
I gave it. I'll tell you what it did. The racing scenes, everything. Although the F1 drivers have come out and kind of criticized a little bit, I heard. But I gave it a solid 6.5, 7. You know,
So I've heard from my sources I trust, but it's like a good 7 movie. It's not
good
perfect. It's got
7.
some issues, but it's an enjoyable movie.
Very enjoyable. Very
Okay,
enjoyable.
that's what I've been hearing. Yeah.
Good to see Brad Pitt back in action, and it kind of resonates with me because I've announced the F1 in Vegas the last 2 years. You know, the beginning of the race, and so it brought back memories for me. I thought it was very, very cool, very cool. And on Netflix, I recommend the series Waterfront. Right? I don't know if you
What is
watched.
this?
It's a really cool series, about 8 episodes. It's going to be back for a second series, but it's basically a story about a family that's has a big um, business, fishing business, like in Florida, wherever it is, and they get involved in drug trafficking. So
It's like Ozarks, but with fish. Like, all right, so
that's
like,
exactly the way somebody else
yep.
described it, and I
Oh,
just got.
so my fiance will
I highly
definitely be into
recommend it.
this.
I highly recommend
So
it. Watch it. I just got done
I'm
watching Mobland, which I loved,
I'm
and
gonna end up watching Waterfront because like if it's like Ozarks with fish, then my fiance is gonna be like, hey, like we're gonna be watching this. That's how I watch Ozarks as well. So
all right, it's got my stamp of approval, most
all right, I'll
definitely.
check it out. I'll feel better about going into it then. Like, all right. But I'm gonna go see Superman this week, I think. Once my manager gets back in town, so we're going to Superman. So that's what I'm looking forward to next. But I think since he's gone, I will go see F1 today then.
Yeah, well, Superman just it's huge, like $200+ million in his first week of
Yeah,
release.
yeah.
It's
Jeez, it
on
was
its
like 219 last I saw.
yeah 219. Good, there you go, Chris. I
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, it's
yeah.
on its way to doing some great business, if not already. And you know the news. I love the old Superman. You know the last super, not the old, but the last Superman that did it. But this gentleman they have in the position looks like he's doing a great job.
Yeah,
And
it
then we
seems
got
more along the lines of like the Superman of Hope in like the comics. So I'm very just like I'm curious to see how James Gunn does. I like James Gunn. I think James Gunn's a great director. So I'm curious to how this acts as a jump off point for everything else.
Say's done a great job, so I got to check it out myself. But I'm going to go to the theater. I'm not going to wait for it to come on TV. So, some movies I got to see in the theaters. That's where I saw F1 and
Yeah.
enjoy that. Last but not least, we got 318 UFC 318 this weekend. Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier stepping in for his last fight for the BMF title. That's going to be a brawl for it all. Paulo Costa and Roman Kopylov. That's going to be another one. Kevin Holland back right away. 2 shows in a row. 2 pay-per-views in a row.
My man likes getting paid. I'm not. I respect it. Like I've told him, hey, I want to fight 2 more times this year. I respect Kevin Holland, bro. Get paid.
Why not? I mean, he ended that last fight, and what was the submission he had? I forget, but it
Was
was a
it
surprise that he
was it
submitted his opponent,
I think it was a
Kevin
Darce
Holland.
probably. Yeah, yeah. Sure. I think he's probably
Yeah,
Darced him. He's got those
it was the
long arms.
Dars.
Yeah,
Yeah, those giant arms. Yeah, dude,
it's
get paid. Hey, get those checks. I'm not mad at all.
it's fun watching his progression. There'd be a good fight for you.
Yeah, we were supposed to fight once before, and I immediately broke my foot the day after we said yes. So at some point, I'm sure it'll come back up again.
Very interesting. You got so much ahead of you. Getting back to you, Chris, it's wonderful watching as I like to say, the evolutionary process of your career. You're very amicable. You're an excellent role model for our sport. I don't expect to see any weird pictures of you on the internet. So
Yeah,
it's all
yeah,
good.
yeah. We're avoiding that one. Like, yeah, okay,
Yeah, that's easy
definitely
to avoid.
avoiding that. Yeah. Ooh.
Keep up the great work. Keep up the great attitude. And I look forward to sharing the octagon, roaring your name to the world, to millions in the world again, very, very soon.
Dude, you make that every time. Like I forgot how much like it gets you pumped up to hear that announcement, man. So it was awesome to hear you again and to
Thank
be
you.
in there. And like thank you guys for having me. Seriously, I appreciate it. And I just can't wait to be back in the ring doing my thing.
Thank you for your kind words. It means the world to me, and can't wait for you to get back in. Meanwhile, enjoy your life, relax, go up to 210 if you want. Have a great time. We'll see you back at
we're
170 soon.
thank you guys. Thank you very much.
All right, you take care, Chris. Big cheers and
Later,
no
guys.
fears forever, and
All
warrior
right.
spirit for everybody. Warrior spirit.
Hi, everybody. I've had an absolute blast
recording your championship intros on audio and also on video. And for those of you that didn't know, the videos can be done special exactly the way you like them, because these are green screens and we can do them with a scene behind me. Do you want a fighting scene? Do you want a beach scene? Do you want a race car scene? Any scene you want, we can give it to you. It's your theme and my pleasure. Just write our offices and we will answer you with the exact fee involved and how it'll get done. So here we are, and now it's time, and it's your choice. Cheers!
Oh, that was great. I mean, what a cool guy, you know, just a calm cat, and obviously a fighter at heart. Always got a smile on his face, always got a great attitude. So, and a pleasure to be around both in and out of the octagon. So thanks for Chris for coming on the show. Real cool to have him on.
Yeah, he had no idea that you were video game royalty buffer.
I don't know about royalty, but definitely understand the video game industry, that's for sure.
Yeah, no. Chris is a good guy. I've talked about this a million times, but I called one of his fights on Fight Pass down in Mexico, where I don't think he meant to do it, but it was in a boxing ring, and he kind of like threw off a guy that was shooting in on a takedown with him, and the guy just went right through the ropes, onto the apron, onto the floor. I thought that the fight was going to be over, but that guy got back in there, and then Chris knocked him out.
Well, that's the way to be. Now he's doing his thing in the octagon, knocking out and submitting him and doing everything he does and winning by split decision. So good luck to him and his ongoing career. I'm going to hear a lot from Chris Curtis, that's for sure. All right, TJ, let's go ahead and sign off.
Pretty much does it for us, right? Yeah. We got big UFC coming up this Saturday night down in New Orleans. It's the final fight of Dustin Poirier's career. I'll be doing extra rounds, probably with Ray Longo. I don't know exactly who yet. We're still figuring it out. But tune in. We'll get all the post-fight reactions on the Fight Pass Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and all that fun business. So tune in. You get to watch along with Jens Pulver. UFC Fight Pass. Biggest no-brainer in all of combat sports.
Sounds good to me. And I will see you off in the octagon in New Orleans, or Nolans, however you like to refer to it, Louisiana. Always a pleasure to see Dustin Poirier, and going to be a hell of a fight between him and Max Holloway for the BMF title. So I'll see you there. We'll be back next week. And everybody, make sure you set your goals. You write them down so when you step on that yellow brick path to your future, you perform at the best you can be, because then you're winning. And that's what we're all about on It's Time Radio, is winning. And I wish everybody a wonderful, healthy, happy, prosperous, everything that goes with it, week, year ahead. But we'll be back next week with another great guest on It's Time Radio. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you again for all your cameos coming in and your video, audio requests at brucebuffer.com, because you've been keeping me busy, and I love every minute of it, making you happy. So big cheers, no fears. Have a great week, everybody. Buffer out.